y'all come on in and let's have us another visit here on the Humble Show. I'm Grant Fletcher, and I am being joined by my co-host Brandon Cox. Moonbeam is still at the Grindhouse working.
Yeah,
Something's happening over there. Things are popping off at the Grindhouse, and they're getting set up there still to sell a bunch of collectibles, signed and otherwise. I feel that, man. The weather is finally dipped for us down here in the South. It's finally getting a little cool. It'll be 90 again.
Like in 2 days.
In 2 days, it'll be 90 again. But it's nice. I'm enjoying it. While I can.
Oh, dude, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Do you have a song recommendation for us right off the top?
Yeah. I got Blah 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 by Toots and the Maytals. Let me ask you something. You ever had somebody like talk to you about a song, like, say for example, Hey Ya by Outkast, and how, like, have they ever like tried to be like, look, man, have you ever listened to the lyrics? Yeah. Or like, Semi Charm Life by Third Eye Blind. Like, people always act as if happy instrumentals coupled with bittersweet or sad lyrics, they feel like that's an exception to the rule. But let me tell you something, that is one of the oldest tropes in music history. If you have a happy instrumental, you're going to have generally dour, bittersweet, sad lyrics. It's the thing. You want a contrast between the two. That's what makes it makes things interesting. But as a result, I find it very difficult to find outright happy music. You can find music that's upbeat, but usually the lyrics, at the very worst, are like, sly and sardonic and like, oh. Toots and the Maytals made happy music. Given, even this album that it comes from, it has a rendition of We Shall Overcome, but even that rendition, it sounds like they've already overcame and they're having a good time. But Blah 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 by Toots and the Maytals, it'll put a smile on your face. That and Pressure Drop, which, I mean, I guess that's my twofer, but I think everybody knows Pressure Drop by now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Some of that Jamaican ska, not that other stuff. So,
mine is you sent me something last week after we hit stop on the record that inspired my pick for this week.
Oh no!
It was a cameo that you had gotten for Must Die, I think.
Yeah.
His birthday. So who was this guy? You told me the name. What was his name again?
Bo Daddy Harris.
Bo Daddy Harris. And so he just, this guy who has this real particular style of singing that he thinks he's nailing it.
He's nailing something. he's nailing shit to a wall and calling it done.
I mean, bless his heart, really. But he thinks he's nailing it pretty good, I think. I mean, he's got all the confidence in the world, but his style of singing, I was like, it sounds like something. And then I realized, I was like, oh, it sounds like Crash Test Dummies. Who are best known for the song you know the one.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's what it is. He's trying to sing like, I don't know if he's purposefully trying to sing like that guy from that band, but he's definitely trying to pull off that type of style. Yeah.
He I think he fancies himself a modern day blues man, and he doesn't realize how reductive that is.
Yeah. It's not you're not really paying homage, I guess.
No.
Right? Not the way you think you are, but
no.
What it made me think of though was, of course there's that big song, their big song we just referenced there. Of
course.
But then there's another song that I really like by them, called "God Shuffled His Feet."
That's a good one.
And like it's a good tune. The music video is really good too. If you've never seen the music video, I think I sent you the video last week when we were
Yes,
talking
yes,
about
oh yes.
it. But it's a good song. It's just got it's not exactly like the song. I don't know, how would you describe it? I mean, it's got kind of more of a like a choir-esque sort of feel at parts of it. You know what I mean? Um,
It. I mean, it's been about a week since I've listened to it, but I think if Moonbeam was here, she would compare it to the second Violet Fem shoot Violet
there's no
Femmes album. Is it Violent or Violet? I think it's
violent.
Violent
Yeah,
Femmes. But no, it's like that second album has a lot of like Southern Gothic like inspiration. While I would never call this Crash Test Dummies song like a Southern Gothic inspired piece, it kind of reminded me of it. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It's a good tune. Either way, God Shuffled His Feet by Crash Test Dummies. That's a really really good song, really fun song. Well, it's fun, but it's got it's got like it's a mood. It's a whole mood. It's
Yeah.
whatever. I think I'm pretty positive. Like, it's been a while since I've listened to the whole album. I think it's the same album as that other song too. So,
Yeah.
it's worth a listen. It's worth going through. I had an idea
Yeah.
for an episode today. That we'll probably just do, like, put off, for next week or maybe the week after. I still have a guest I need to circle back with that we're going to try to get on here soon as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, so I was thinking today what we could talk about is the not even traditional, just the tradition of a long-running episodic TV series having a Halloween special.
Yeah.
So that was what I suggested we go ahead and talk about here today, because there's so many good ones to choose from, and we don't have a lot of time. And I really want to know from the Humbl Fam out there, like, what is your favorite Halloween TV special? Like, do you have any that stick out from your mind, from your childhood, or even recent years too? Like, I want to know, because I think it's the type of thing that once you say it out loud, like, people do just it evokes like memories all of a sudden, and you start to think of something just kind of right off the top of your head.
Yeah.
And Brendan, you seemed like you thought that was a pretty good idea. I'm curious to know what your thoughts were, like what first came to mind for you.
I feel like for me, asking me like, what is your, what is your favorite Halloween special? It's akin to asking a person like, what is your favorite space opera? Like, you're going to say, oh, Star Wars, because I mean it's so obligatory. And I usually like to subvert expectations. I like to recommend things that people might not be knowing. In this instance, I have to go with the all-time classic. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie
Of
Brown.
course.
It is, to me, it is the be all end all uh Halloween special. Like, they did it right in 1966, and they didn't. I mean, it's good that the rest of everybody else are like, hey, we should do our own Halloween special, but they have tried and fallen short of it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I no joke, I actually watched it for the first time in years before we started recording, after you suggested that as a topic. What struck me whenever I watched it for the first time in God knows how many years, it is gloriously slow. I love how slow paced it is. First off, the background art is impeccable. I love the skies, like the hand painted cells of the skies. They look amazing, but it just everything has just so much room to breathe. And I think that's the reason why it's stuck with so many people. There's not much that happens in this special. There's a scene where I really should have gotten his name prior to us filming, but Snoopy is with the boy who plays piano. What is his name? Schroeder?
Oh, and,
Is it Schroeder?
What's that?
Is it Schroeder?
No, it's well. Hold on now.
It's not Schroeder. Okay.
I'm looking it up right now because I feel like I could have. Yeah, it is Schroeder. You're right. No,
Okay.
I'm sitting here. I was like, no, but I was thinking when you said Schroeder, I was like, no, that Schroeder is the guy with the cat, but that's Schrodinger. Anyway, that's a
Right.
that's a whole different thing. Yeah.
But there's like a 2-minute scene that is just Snoopy in his World War One fighter pilot getup, like by his piano, reacting to the patriotic, upbeat piano songs, and then Schroeder plays kind of like a downtrodden minor key, kind of like dirge, and Snoopy just like cries and he's sniffling and like kind of losing it a little bit, and Schroeder plays another upbeat number, and Snoopy's laughing, and he's doing this again, and then he plays another another minor key sort of dirge, and he starts kind of sniffling up and crying, and he just walks out crying. That scene is like 2 minutes, and it's a still shot. There's excellent animation with Snoopy, but it's a scene that's just it's very silly. It's allowed to breathe. Everything is so gloriously slow, and just every scene in that is so iconic.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, man, that you can't shake loose out of your memory. It's in the fabric of so many people's psyche, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, man, if it's well made, I mean, things like that just stick around for forever. It's pretty rare that you look back at something and be like, this was really bad. Why does everybody love this? I mean, something like that, it's well put together. And we were lucky to work with Peter Robbins, the voice of Charlie Brown.
Oh, man, Pete was a joy.
We were. Yeah, he was, man. He was a character like none other. I mean, that was the first Preserve Halloween Fest, wasn't it? I think it was the first one, but
it was the very first one. It was the inaugural bash.
It was. Yeah. He was great, man. I said he passed away a few months after that very show.
Yeah.
It was very, very tragic. I mean, he had a battle with mental health. I mean, his family came out and said that,
Yeah.
And he was very open about that even at that show. All of his issues he had, and it's just sort of what happens sometimes. But man, the work he left behind, the legacy he left behind, people love it. I have a picture of him showing me his tattoo on his arm of Snoopy and Charlie Brown together.
Oh, dude, heck yeah! I got a few.
Yeah, I'll post that on the Humbl Show Instagram and Facebook page soon.
Yeah,
so y'all
please
can see
do.
Because that was a great one. Because whenever he passed away, I posted that picture again, and like some radio station was like, "Hey, is it cool if we use this?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, go ahead."
You got $10?
Yeah, he told me, he was like, "Yeah, you got this." He got it in some like tattoo shop that all the sailors go to at like on the coast out there in California, like off the beach.
I might have talked about it before, but on this show in particular. But Pete did something really cool that if I ever become a noteworthy individual, whoever wants me to sign something, I'm going to do this for them as well. I asked if he could, sign a few things. And he said, yeah, come over to the booth. It'd be great to do that. And then I got over there, and he's like, hey, while I'm doing all this, why don't you, here's my phone, play me a song you really like.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, whoa, yeah, okay. So naturally, I played him my favorite band, Guided by Voices. I'm sure I played him Buzzards and Dreadful Crows. And he enjoyed it. He's like, oh yeah, this sounds really kind of like Beatlesque. I'm like, yeah, it does. And it was just a good weekend with him all around.
You know what was great, man? What's funny is like we were talking about TV specials. Now we're just talking about Peter Robbins, the voice of Charlie Brown. But what's funny about that too, one of the things I observed him doing at that show was he was going around towards the end of the weekend to all the other guests and be like, hey, look, you signed something for me, I'll sign something for you. Like, we'll all have a little memento. And everybody was like he did it just because like, oh, it'd be cool to trade. But everybody was like thrilled. They're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, I would love something from Charlie Brown. Are you kidding me? Like, yes.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, like it was like he did this little thing for all the guests, and everybody just loved it. I mean, like I said, it was great. He was having a great time, and he was a character. Yeah, I've certainly never met another person like him before, and I haven't since. I doubt I ever will. So,
Yeah.
just a real great guy, real great dude, and
Oh, for sure.
like we said, left behind a very one of the more prominent Halloween TV specials ever. And of course, you can't not talk about like the Treehouse of Horror, from,
Oh,
from
for
The
sure.
Simpsons. I mean, but there's a new one every year. But there's some of those little, especially the shorts that like individual shorts themselves that really stick out. So those are always great. Now, I really like Bob's Burgers myself. I know, Brandon, it's not your favorite show.
It's
Um,
it's it's not everybody. It seems like everybody's yelling in that show at all times. Um,
um, everyone but Bob, basically, it seems like, and then sometimes
yeah,
Bob gets
but
riled
at the
up too. But
same
then
time,
again, yeah, what's
I've
that?
seen some episodes. I enjoyed them. It's just
Yeah,
like in my mind, I'm like, man, I don't feel like it's been a long day. Everybody yells in this show. I'm not watching
I
that.
gotcha. You're just not the energy you're looking for. Yeah.
No,
Well, now the one thing I will say about Bob's Burgers, they do have excellent Halloween episodes.
that's actually what I heard.
Yeah. And the kids usually have like some sort of pun. Like puns are really like it's a thing. It's like some of the base humor in the show is based on puns. And
Yeah,
so the kids usually have like some really good like pun related costumes. I'm gonna go over here.
yeah,
Let's see, there's one episode where Tina, the oldest daughter, was Mombi, so she was her own mom but a zombie version of her mom.
yeah.
There was one where Jean was Fiona Applesauce, so Fiona Apple as a bottle of applesauce.
I love that.
There was another one where he was Andre 3000 the Giant, so he had on like the Andre the Giant singlet, but had like
Yeah.
the 2000s Andre 3000 like hairdo and like hat. There's another one too where he was Turner and Hooch, so half of his body was Turner and half of his body was Hooch.
I dig that.
So that was a good one there too. And then there's another one I'm looking at here, Sherlock Ness Monster. Tina was a Loch Ness monster with a Sherlock Holmes type
That's good. That's good.
clothing on it. So, I mean, it's good. I mean, I'm looking at another one here where Louise, my favorite character, was the Bjorn identity. She was Jason Bourne wearing a baby Bjorn. So, it's just things like that. That's
Yeah.
good. I really enjoyed it. I like those a lot. There's a lot of really good ones here. I kind of want to go through some. I found from Esquire here the 36 best Halloween specials. I'm just going to do like the last 10 on the list here.
Yeah. Let's do
It's a
that.
lot. I'm going to see which ones you've seen, which ones I've seen, what you're thinking here.
Yeah.
The first one is American Horror Story Halloween. Now this is from the first season of that one. It was a two-parter. So
Yeah,
I think two nights
that's
back
the
to
only
back.
season that I saw.
Yeah.
I don't even mean to say this in a derogatory way, and I hope everybody knows this by now. But my God, that show was gay. Uh, it was
As in subject matter.
well, it wasn't like I can't watch this. It's too gay.
Right.
It was just like, man, this is. And I think I think the show was started by two gay fellows. And I'm like, yeah, it just shows. Yeah.
It's true. And Zachary Quinto being one of the top, people in it, especially very much at the forefront in that season, right?
Yeah.
And that season was very good. I felt like that show peaked in season 2, and then I enjoyed it for a while after, but I was like, after a while, I was just like, man, like none of these are as good as the second season, and it kind of, I ended up trailing off after that because of it. I mean, it's not like they weren't good. It's just like, after that second season, I was like, man, I just don't know if I'm gonna,
Can't stick it out.
Yeah, I can't stick it out. Now, another one that made the list, though, you might be happy to find out here, Brandon, is Curb Your Enthusiasm's Trick or Treat episode.
Oh man, I've only seen a handful of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I absolutely really enjoy it.
I mean, basically, you get Larry David like ranting at trick or treaters.
Yeah, as he does. Yeah,
as he does. I mean, so it's just one of those things. It's like one of the things that he does best, and hilarity ensues. You know what I mean? It's just that type of thing.
Very cool.
Let's see. Next one here. That 70s show, Too Old to Trick or Treat, Too Young to Die was the name of the episode.
It's a good name.
Yeah. So I guess, and it's true, like, because they were all in that age. The characters were all in that age where it's like, I'm not going to dress up for Halloween. That's for kids. And then,
Yeah.
but also I do want to party. And then, eventually you get to a point where you're an adult where it's like, no, I can dress up again. It's fun to do that.
Yeah.
I think everyone does go through that phase of their life, and that was kind of what they were sort of getting into in some way here.
Yeah. I miss that phase where everybody's ashamed to wear costumes, because here's the thing. Costumes are expensive. They are
Yeah.
a hassle. They're very impressive if you do them right,
Mm-hmm.
but you can only really do it once. If you're the same, I mean, I feel like, cosplayers are just like listening to this and be like, oh yeah, tell me about it. But like, if you do the same costume next year, it's a faux pas. At least I would think. You can't just be Dracula every year. I got invited to a Halloween party this year, and I'm at a loss. I'm just gonna wear the doctor outfit that I use for weird sex stuff.
Okay.
Nobody's
You always
gonna be like,
you gotta have
oh.
something, in the bag of tricks. I do actually hold on to at least a couple Halloween costumes in case, like, I have a situation where it's like, oh, we got a party to go to here, and then also trick-or-treating and, whatever else.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, what you pick out that year is a hassle, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to put it on and take it off several times, but yeah.
It's a whole lot.
I get it, yeah.
I also have I have my Chris Chan get up, but nobody in Philadelphia, Mississippi is going to know what I'm doing, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I've seen the Chris Chan get up. It's good. Well, you got to you complete it with the medallion and everything. So if you don't know what it is,
don't bother.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we actually, it was on an episode of this show where Moonbeam was like, "What is that you're talking about? Let me Google this," and we said, "No, don't do it."
But thankfully, in typical Moonbeam fashion, she takes a peek. She's like, I don't get what the big deal is, and then she doesn't continue, which is good.
Yeah, there's that really long running docuseries. She watched the first 5 minutes and she was like, "Yeah, I'm done with this." I've watched I think the first 12 parts and I dipped out. There's somewhere around 100, huh?
Oh God, like I don't know how far they've gotten it, but I got into like the 40s, like like, and the thing is, after a while it just kind of drags.
I'm sure it does, but it's just like, it's just painful. Like,
yeah,
it's just painful. Like, you feel bad, but then there's also like behavior there that it's like, well, also, yeah, but like you do need to be responsible for this. I don't know. It's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the list, shall we? Let's talk about that.
Let's get back to the list.
There's the South Park Pink Eye episode. Do you remember this one?
Vaguely, I didn't even know that was a Halloween episode.
Yeah, well, it's because what it was is Kenny dies.
Yeah,
and he comes back as a zombie.
I remember this. Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, these people all have pink eye." Okay,
yes, yeah, because they have the bloodshot eyes, and everyone's like, "Oh, they have pink eye," but they're zombies. Yeah, that was the idea. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Of course, Treehouse of Horror is on the list as well. It kind of just says sort of really all of them. I don't think it
that's cheating.
Focuses on one in particular. Let's see. Oh yeah, it says here Lisa and Homer getting stuck in a den of horrors of their own creation. Using Halloween decorations to signal for help as three men looking for revenge chase them through their house. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bob's Burgers: The Haunting. Again, another Bob's Burgers episode. We talked about this a lot. We touched on that a little bit already. Halloween Family, or the Halloween episode of Modern Family. There's just one just titled Halloween.
I hear that's good too. Yeah.
After agree, man. I did like Modern Family. I did think it was funny. Not the funniest show ever, but definitely a good way to spend 22 minutes.
I've seen a handful of episodes. I dig it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Now I never watched BoJack Horseman. Did you watch that?
No, mostly because around that time I saw like the first episode or two, and I was not too long after the show premiered. I think around well, at least around like 2016 or so. I started driving for Uber, and I had a disproportionate amount of let's just say like fratty dudes who like, and this shouldn't be to any show's detriment, but I think that they didn't know what mental health was prior to that show, and so it was
Oh.
very life changing for them, which is good. I hopefully they not only like found out what that was, but like they found out what empathy was. Hopefully, but
Hmm.
I also hear that it's just a really really heavy show, and I don't.
Yeah.
That's not my thing. I don't want a heavy show.
Despite it being this wacky show about a horse, a talking horse, it's heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a Halloween episode called Mr. Peanut Butter's Booze, which is BOOS, like so like it's supposed to be like his exes or his girlfriends, like so, me and my boo kind of thing, but also boo, like,
Yeah.
whatever. Um and so it's this character, this dog character, Mr. Peanut Butter. And it looks apparently Jessica Biel is one of his exes, so
I'm
antics
really
ensue,
glad
I
that
guess.
the terminology of boo has become outdated. Very, very much so. That was a bad time.
Yeah, it went on for a while. Went on for a while.
Yeah.
There were worse things, I guess, that you could have used. Um,
Bay. Yep, yep, Bay.
Bay. I would rank Boo above Bay. I'm just saying. I don't know. Humble Fam, let me know where you rank on that.
Where
I
you
gotta know
rank
now.
on outdated terminology.
Outdated terminology for your significant other. Now the Vampire Diaries made the list too. There's an episode called Haunted, where a character named Vicky becomes a vampire. She can't control her bloodlust early on, and so she has you know, issues with that, trying to adjust. I never watched Vampire Diaries. I know plenty of people that got into it. It's a
I
very successful show. Ran for a while.
is that the really wacky, outlandish one?
I think it was a CW show, so I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one on the list here is an episode of New Girl, which is another one I didn't watch either, but I don't know why I never watched it. It
I
seemed like a lot of people really
saw
got into it.
I saw one episode of it. It aired after the Super Bowl one year. It Prince was in it. Prince was in this episode, and
Oh, I have seen that episode. Yes.
it is one of the worst episodes I've seen of anything ever in my life. And
And yeah.
as a result, like I've had people who get mad at me for
Uh-huh.
like refusing to watch the show because of that episode, because they're like, it's not indicative of the rest of the series. It's actually really well written. It's really good. I'm like, that episode, I cannot watch. I can't watch it afterwards. No.
Yeah, I guess if you have that one bad experience right in the middle of it, you're not going to come back to it. Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
called Keaton, where evidently they uh, have some sort of catfish scheme, where one of the characters, Nick, is involved in towards another character, Schmidt, and setting him up to make him think that he's going to meet Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Batman. Yeah.
In the Ben and Batman costume. Yeah. So I don't know. There's a few in here, like I said, we have not seen or are not familiar with, but I do want to know what the Humble Fam seen, because I mean, y'all out there have seen these. I know you have. And I am curious, like, what are some of your more impactful? What are like some of the better Halloween specials that you yourself remember seeing? Oh, here's one that came up here that I hadn't had forgotten about. Under Wraps. So there was a TV movie
Oh, I remember Under
about a mummy. I
Wraps.
think it was a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, that was solid from what I recall.
Yeah, that was one that I think they rebooted not too long ago.
They
Anyway,
shouldn't have.
now okay, here's another one though that we have not touched on again. It was a TV movie. I guess it's less of a special, more of a TV movie, because it was about 90 minutes. The Olsen twins, Double Double, Toil and Trouble. That was a big deal at the time. I remember it very well, as a matter of fact. And did you know
Yeah.
that there is a Grinch Halloween special?
I vaguely recall that. It was one of those, like there's so many Bankin and Rankin and Bass
Yeah.
productions that like like they got really like there are like 30 or 40 Rankin and Bass productions, like done in the same style as that puppet animation, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But as in sort of by extension, man, they were going wild with the holiday specials, like in the 70s and 80s. Like, if you told me that there was like a Grinch Hanukkah, I would absolutely believe you.
Yeah, I just googled Rankin Bass Halloween, and I'm looking. There's like a whole bunch of them come up right off the top here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a whole bunch here. Let me see what I can find.
Back before the whole
2, 3, 4,
cinematic universe
4 right off
BS
the top.
became the mainstay. Rankin and Bass had themselves a cinematic universe there. You had you had Rudolph, and he was doing Easter things. You had Santa Claus, he was doing St. Patrick's things. It's real wild. It was real crazy.
Yeah. Oh, you know what does bear mentioning here?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Salute Your Shorts?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Zeke the plumber.
Yeah.
That was the episode I'm thinking of. They told the story of Zeke the plumber at the summer camp.
Oh man, I barely remember that one.
Yeah, the ghostly, the ghostly plumber character. I just remember like the bully, or the bullyish type character, like telling the story and just repeating over and over again. Zeke the plumber.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was the kid that was also John Connor's friend in Terminator 2. But
okay, yeah. His family didn't meet a good end.
Oh, in the movie, yeah, no,
not the.
I was like, what happened to them? I was like,
as far as I know, not the actor.
A lot of people,
as far as I know, they're still
in the movie.
fine.
Yes. Well, good. Yeah, I'm glad we clarified that. Then good.
Yeah.
But I do want to know, Humbl Fam, I mean, like, what's your take out there on, like, when you think of a Halloween TV special, like an episode of a show, like, is there an episode of The Office that you really like, or something like that, that just springs to the forefront of your mind and really kind of puts you in that Halloween mood? Maybe something that you even have to, like, go back and watch every year just to kind of relive those moments. I do want to hear about that as well. Y'all, our next show isn't going to be until March, Louisiana Comic-Con.
Yeah.
At the Cajun Dome, coming back again. Speaking of Halloween, we do have Brett Wagner, Leatherface, from the 2005 edition of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So just kind of on the horror theme while we're here, while we're at it, talking about it. It's going to be a really good time. We're going to be talking a lot more about that over the next couple of months. Of course we will, because we're going to be there. It's going to be a big deal. So, Brandon, did we leave anything out? Is there anything else that you want to say before we put a button on this thing?
Not at all. I think we did. I think we did it up. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of what we like to do on the show is just open up the conversation here, too, between us and the Humbl Fam. We put out our 2 cents, but we want you to tell us. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. So that's why y'all need to, leave the comments on YouTube and on our socials and whatnot, so we can talk about this. Claire Deadfield really brings the heat there.
Claire Deadfield is a Halloween icon.
She is, yeah. She's a Halloween icon. She posted some cool like new Elvira shoots. And I think Lily Munster as well, like really dope Halloween type stuff. But yeah, she's like I said, she's the I don't want to say silent member of the Humbl Fam, but she is basically on the show, just on the socials, part of the show essentially every week. So
she is the Green Ranger to our Power Rangers.
There we go. I like that. That's a really good analogy there. Now that means Claire's just gonna have to get on doing that one next, I guess. But
yeah, absolutely.
Look what you did. Look what you did, Brandon. Look what you did.
Whoopsie daisy.
Y'all check this out. Look, make sure you go ahead and hit subscribe and give us a like and a review and a comment. You follow all of our socials, because we're going to be back here for another little visit here next week on The Humbl Show. But until then, stay humble.